Namaste, this is Rishikesh Writings, and today we are with our guest, Kristi. She's a breathwork facilitator in Tapovan, Rishikesh, and today we know about her journey to come in breathwork and what exactly this breathwork is and how this benefit to a human consciousness. Namaste, Kristi.
Namaste, Namaste Anand.
Kristi, what is breathwork? From where actually these terms comes in?
Well, breathwork is something different than pranayama. What we know from yogic terms, you know something about breathing exercises, so-called pranayama, which is a breath control, and kriya, which is cleansing. So breath work I would call deep cleanse, like a deep kriya, because it's a longer duration of intense breathing, and that cleanses you on all levels, on all bodies, what you have, your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your energy body.
And from where you start learning this breath work, and who's your teacher?
My teachers are Jānis Bruns and Dita Elksne. They are from Latvia. I'm originally from Latvia. So in the times when I was very miserable, I was seeking the way out, and my thoughts of suicidal was pretty much every day. And by then I was living in Germany. Visited Latvia, some friends of mine, they just advised me to go to Jānis to have a breathwork session. He just had finished his breathwork training in Bali. He learned, I believe, 1 month in Bali itself, and Sondra Ray was his teacher. Yeah, and tried to heal myself first. I was flying to Latvia as much as I can to just have sessions with them. As soon as I started to give retreats, I was joining all the retreats they gave because I knew that it's going to heal me. And after some time, my friends started to ask me to give them sessions. That's how my journey started to also be a facilitator. And after some time, my teachers started to give trainings as well. So that's how I also became a facilitator.
And why you come into the thought of suicidal, and what's the reason behind it? It's loneliness of your life?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I would say in a rational life, in Western countries, you seem to be happy from outside. You seem to have everything, but that spiritual part is missing. And my soul was always longing for something. So reaching a financial stability, even being married, I felt that something is missing. So of course that missing part, you would think, okay, maybe a child. And child did not happen. So I thought that without the child I'm not going to be happy. So the divorce happened. For 2 years I would say that was the most darkest time of my life. And going to work, just working for money, realized that I kind of like my job, but at the same time I'm not happy in the system. In a system of hierarchy of the work and the way people are treating people, because they all are not healed. And because I also was not healed, I was getting exactly what I needed. I was being treated exactly the way I needed to be treated. And that made me feel very bad. Every day I went home and I was very depressed. Alcohol was my best friend by then. Yeah, and depression was my best accompanied friend in the evenings when I thought it's gonna...
So, how you left the alcohol? How, when you understand this is not these are not a good friend of your spirituality, or simplicity is a good friend of yours.
Yes.
The importance of these things in your life.
Yes. So 8.5 years ago, breathwork was my awakening, and I understood that there was so much more, that there is this bliss state, that there is light, that there is ease, that there is love, which I never experienced before. Even being married and had that love from my ex-husband, I still felt that something is missing. So that was the love towards myself. So breathwork connected me to my true self, and within 2 months I quit everything. Within 2 months I quit my job, I quit a couple of my habits which were bad, including alcohol, including eating meat. I don't judge anybody for eating meat, but I believe my body doesn't need it, and that's the way I see it. But by then I realized that these are the habits which I should quit, and it was very natural. It's only from breathwork. I didn't do any other techniques. I just went to Latvia as much as I could and had sessions. Now I realized that this connection, what I had through breathwork, gave me all the knowledge which you so-call yoga, 8 limbs of yoga. So that 8 limbs I was already living without knowing anything about yoga philosophy. Yeah, and that alcohol just vanished from my life, and now if I have to think of taking a sip of alcohol, I don't like it. I don't like the taste. I don't like the state it brings me into, because it's not real. It's illusion. Yeah.
And what is the benefit of doing the breath work, and which part of the body it affected, and medically how helpful this breath work is for the new generation? We called it the Gen Z generation these days. Yeah.
So the more you do breath work, as I already mentioned, it cleanses you on all levels, especially if you go with a therapist. That's what we do in trainings. We're teaching how to hold the space, to heal yourself on a mental level, which is our days the biggest issue. People are struggling with mental illnesses. Through understanding that when you are connected, then there is no struggle. There is just understanding that everything is in the flow, and that you are the universe, that you are the consciousness, pure consciousness. So what is happening when you breathe? Your pH level is increasing, so that means that you are healing on a physical level. So also the diseases you have on a physical base, it's going to vanish. Yes. So of course the levels of gases like O2, CO2 is going to change while you're breathing, but at the same time it really increases your pH, which actually heals. So that is the scientific part, and there is so much more to add to it, but I don't think it's necessary to go to scientific right now, because everybody can read it.
Yeah. So like when what do you thought about it? Why the people are going in mental illness? Why the people are going these days in a stress? Is it a economic stress, or is it a stress which comes created by the society?
I think it's both, but the major cause is disconnection, complete disconnection. So they are programmed to be a part of the society, to serve the society, but not to serve the God anymore. If you serve the God, if you serve the pure consciousness, then you are aligned with yourself. If you serve only in order to survive, to exist, to earn the money, you're not going to be happy. That's what my understanding is.
Recently we saw that some of the 5 women go to the space, and people are sharing that they should spend money on social cause and thing, but they're going in a space. What do you thought about this?
I think I didn't understand the question.
My question is, recently the 5 women spend the money and go to the space, and for society some say this is right, so they come in a stress. Some people come in a stress why they spend that much of money to go to space, and they should donate this money to the cause.
The
For a
space,
health.
you mean
To the earth.
If you have finances and you feel the calling, maybe that's the vision what they have and they want to fulfill it, that's okay. They have maybe different priorities, and if they feel that that's going to fulfill them, it's okay. But the final point, what I would like to add is it's the desires. As soon as you fulfill your desires, you have to search for another desire, because the only way is to find the peace within you. The only way is to find the balance within you. If you go from one desire to the other desire, it's not going to end. This will be the whole life with that. You will have to run from one desire to the other desire, from one car to the other car, from one house to the other house, from one people to the other people. Yeah.
Do you think that this breathwork should apply in hospitals also? How much importance of this subject in medical field?
Okay, the medical part. I would say in slow motion, I would say pranayama is definitely to be applied in hospitals, because as soon as you change your breathing patterns, you may change also your health. You will benefit from breath, because as soon as you have a type of a stress level, or maybe you have experienced some traumatic experience, then your diaphragm is spasming, and that makes the breath shorter. So the shorter your breath, the more you are going to breathe on the upper chest, and that's more of a sympathetic nervous system. So if we lose our connection to parasympathetic nervous system, and we're constantly are in the sympathetic nervous system, especially even if we are living in the city where the vibrations are completely different than in the nature, the frequencies are more lower frequencies, which are of the shame, guilt, desires, anger, and so on and so on. The higher frequencies is almost not possible to reach there. So it's not going to be easy for them to heal. Yes. So the hospital can be in the middle of the city. It won't give the results if the hospital would be outside. So especially if there is a holistic hospital, that would be the best. For me, because I also learned yoga therapy, I believe that everything is possible. Everything is possible without medications, but at the same time, medication is necessary if you believe in it. And to change the belief, you have to use the medication first and then go to the holistic way. Yeah. You can't just take away the medication. So in the hospital, I definitely would advise to use pranayama. I would advise every doctor to learn pranayama, but breathwork is a different type of therapy. So breathwork, I would say, it is an additional something for mental illnesses, physical illnesses, but it always differs what type of, because we are not advising people with heart diseases or recent surgeries on the heart or the kidney
So basically
diseases.
this breathwork is not for the people who are passing by the heart surgery, and people who's passing by the
Kidneys, yes. Kidneys and heart is to be very careful of. Yes.
Like we says these days people are going for passing through the diabetic. Like India, if we talk about it, we have the large number of people increasing in the diabetes and the cancer.
Yes.
So how this breath work is healing? Is this good for those patients?
I would say that breath work for diabetic person would change the way they see, the way they feel the world, and maybe they will also change their diet. And diet change and lifestyle change will bring them more health. I wouldn't say a complete cure. I don't want to use this term, but it can also lead to a cure. The second, you mentioned the
cancer.
cancer part.
Yeah.
So the cancer part, what we know on a spiritual level, emotion behind it majorly is anger, suppressed anger. So if breath work is applied to a cancer patient slowly as a therapy, start slowly, then increase, then increase, then increase, it may also increase the pH as I mentioned, and at the same time it changes the belief and it calms down your system. The breath is changing and you're able to heal, but also it differs from cancer to cancer, right? I've helped a person who has had bone marrow cancer along with the chemotherapy, with the transplantation. 99% people did not believe he's going to survive, and he did. So at the same time, I did not apply the breath work, but we applied pranayama. We applied pranayama and a lot of talks to change the way the person thinks. But breath work would increase the timeline. So breath work would help much faster. But at the same time, it is very tricky because it may also accelerate the disease at the first moment. So that means that it can happen that it is gonna be more cells of the cancer at the beginning, and then they start to heal because the body needs that kick to start to heal. Yeah. So if the body doesn't feel like it needs to heal, the cells are going to kill themselves because they don't know that they have to heal it. So that's majorly the cancer. I would say the cancer, I like that term, or I like that way of saying what is a cancer cell. Cancer cell is the one which is trying to survive. In order to survive, killing everything around it, but at the end it doesn't know that it's going to die itself, because without everything around it, it cannot survive.
In a woman,
yeah.
What is the benefit of the breath work in a body level? And for men, what is the benefit of the men in the body level?
So you want to differentiate
Yes.
it. For the woman, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt is there because of that divine being, and the change of the society, especially I would say in India, it's very known that the woman is suppressed. So they would heal all the suppressed emotions which are connected to their womb itself. Yes, so the reproductive system. And they would become more divine, they would empower themselves, they would know that it's not their fault, and they would heal those emotions, what they carry with them, without even knowing it. They are conditioned the way they are conditioned. And often we face women who also have had some abortions. And after breathwork, especially a right way of guidance in breathwork, we see big change. We see a release. We see a relief that they don't feel guilty anymore about it, because it's just an experience. The sin is only written in the books. You can call it saint books, you can call it Bible, you can call it any other book. And it's being given generation to generation that there is so-called sin. But God doesn't see a sin. God forgives everybody. And God is within us. We are gods. So why don't we forgive ourselves? That's just the mind which clings to that feeling, to that emotion that I'm a victim. I'm a victim of my past. So, and to heal your past, breathwork is an amazing tool.
And why you choose Rishikesh to conduct the breathwork classes?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never really chose it before as first.
Yeah.
And then somehow Rishikesh opened the doors, and I'm very grateful to Yoga and Smiles, who collaborated with me first. And that was the beginning. Now we're going our own way. We're we're growing, the family is growing, and seekers are here. Seekers are here in Rishikesh. They know that they have to come. So we choose this place, even if people have never been to Rishikesh, they are joining the course and then they straight away come to Rishikesh. So they know that here is a lot more. Here is, in my opinion, energetically very strong point. I'm calling it a vortex. A vortex like a centrifuge, which will suck you in. And as long as you need to be here, you'll be here. Whatever you need to be doing here, you're gonna do. Either it's a breathwork or yoga or any other course, or just a hike. You'll be here until you feel that you have to go. So that's energetically Rishikesh.
How to find the right teacher for the breathwork? Like how like we says like when we go in many yoga schools, so they says they started learning for like 28 days yoga teacher training, and they says okay, now we are a teacher and we are start teaching it, and some start doing a sound healing course. Like if you go in a spiritual way of Rishikesh, so we have a it's a kind of garden.
Yes.
Like we have a different type of flowers are here, but when the seeker come, he is confused which flower exactly I would like to see and observe the beauty, and what is the key role or important role that's the student or a seeker should see that this is the right person for learning a breathwork.
So if you take the garden and the flowers, we know that each and every one has their herb to heal whatever disease they have, whatever they need at that moment. Even if you feel like you are healed, even if you feel like you are healthy, still you would walk through the field and you will see some herbs which are looking at you. So it means that they need you. And this is purely intuitive. That's actually what I teach. It's intuition. To be intuitive. And each and every person who has learned with us, they have increased their intuition. They are more connected to themselves, and in order to give a proper session, they have to be connected to themselves in order to be a good channel to give a good session. And it's like you pick the flower which looks at you, you also pick the facilitator. You will know what you need. If you go to one facilitator and you say this is not what I needed, actually exactly that's what you needed to understand that that's what you don't want. That's what you needed to see, that there is maybe anger, there is maybe frustration, there is maybe blame on the facilitator, but it's not facilitator's fault. It's just the emotion you have to see. And then you go and find another facilitator and heal that part. So every time you go to a breath worker, it's always the right one. It's not about, I have to search for long. I have to feel, is it the right time for me to do breath work? And then the right facilitator will come. Both sides have to be ready. It's like, if the teacher is not ready, then the student is not ready. If the student is not ready, teacher will not be ready, and so on. So both have to be ready. If the teacher is ready, student will come. Another way around. If the student is ready, teacher will come.
Most of the we says that all the diseases which come from these are the psychosomatic diseases which arises, then it comes into reality as a disease. So how we should know, like before coming disease into the body, so how the breath work will help them to that disease will not come into the body. Before coming body, it can be removed.
So first, on the yogic terms, they say first there is an emotion. You wake up with an emotion and you don't know why. Then you put a thought to it. If you have seen a funeral or somebody died when you were very little, it's not that somebody died as giving you that emotion. It's the other people who are around there giving you the emotion. So you're conditioned to have a certain emotions in a certain moments. It's not that something happened to you and this is so bad. It's about the way society is reacting to it. So you're putting that emotion deep into you as if you would be a victim. majorly. It can also happen that you are the one who has experienced it in the past life, and you're experiencing it one more time, and you feel that emotion very deeply within you. So then through the emotion, it goes into your energy body, and it doesn't straight away go to your physical body. It can last up to 4 years until it reaches your physical body, right? So as soon as it reaches your physical body, it is a last station. So you can go and try to cure the symptoms, but the cause you haven't cured yet. So that's how it actually works on the emotional base. So the psychosomatic has to be cured together. You cannot just go and cure physical body if you haven't started even to work on your psychic body, right? Your emotional body, your mind. You have to understand sometimes that the mind is the one which puts you into that state, and the mind can also bring you out of that state. The mind is such an intelligent machine. If we use it in the right way and not allowing it to be our boss to ping us like a ball from here and there, if we are using it as a tool to heal ourselves and to make the world a better place, then I think there can be only healing.
And what is your thought about the disease, which is in scientific way or a medical way, they says there is a research is going on, but there is no result in the conclusion. So, but the doctor give a medicine, and yes. How is the breathwork can help? Like suppose there is an example, someone have a small egg in the brain. Okay, someone have a small egg on the brain, but the doctor gave them a medicine, and the egg is soaked away. But but the worm inside it's finished. But the research says there is no medical research or medical term to heal this particular things. But there is a process of severe. Sometimes there was a pain in the head. So how the breathwork can help?
If you're talking about parasites, the egg parasites, then that I think it's curable with fasting. So if you do a proper fasting, all the parasites is going to vanish from your body. It's actually about changing your mindset and go for the fasting. But breath work can heal in the way, I'll mention my own case. I had a big cyst in my left ovary. It was 6 to 7 centimeters, and another small 4 centimeters next to it. It was a lot of pain. Doctor said we have to operate it. And I was asking if I could try some other techniques, some other ways, because I was already in a breath work, and he said he's not believing that it's going to absorb because it's too big. We have to operate it. Still, I asked him some time, so he gave me 8 weeks. I went 9 weeks later, and there was nothing anymore. It was completely healed. So another example, just recently one girl came to our training. So she did 2 trainings, one straight after the other, so level 1 and level 2. There was only a gap of 6 days in between. She came with a result of anti-baby pills. So every month she was taking it to not get pregnant for 11 years. And then she decided that she wants to quit it, so to not take it anymore. For 6 years she did not have any moon cycle anymore. And she tried everything. And doctors said on that one day, well, you are premenopausal with 31-year-old. They say, well, it can happen. It is possible that even if you are young, if you're not 50 yet, still you can be premenopausal. She did not believe that, and she continued breathing. And just 3 days before the level 2 finished, she got her period. So whatever doctors say, is that about what you believe? If you believe that what doctors say, most likely it will be the truth for you. If you don't believe that, go and seek for your truth.
So it means the process of breathwork is a key role to reach out the level of oxygen in every single cell in the body.
Again, there is a more complex chemical reaction happening in the body. It's not only oxygen level, not only CO2. Actually, it's about lowering the CO2 in the body. If you think how lungs is working, that on a regular basis, if we don't breathe too deeply, so we are actually using maybe only 30% of our lungs if we are not doing pranayama, breathwork, anything like that. So you can imagine that we can never breathe completely out. So about 10% in best case, in yogic case, will always be there. Because as soon as you breathe out completely, the lungs will collapse, you're dying. And regular person would always have about 30-40% in their lungs. They are not completely exhaling. And they are using only a little bit. So you can imagine you're usually not inhaling completely, not 100%. Try. You cannot breathe in completely. So 100% you would never use. So a range of 40 to around 70, 80. That's what you use. Can you imagine how much you use of your lungs? Up to 50% only. And you have the possibility to use 70, 80%. So up to 50% majorly. And most of people, they don't even use that much. So they have very shallow breathing. So in that case, your CO2 actually is very much in your blood. So when you do breath work, then sometimes the first sessions are going to be very difficult physically because there can be crampings, there can be pain because your body is not used to have such a low levels of CO2. Yes, there is a reaction of hypocalcemia, which is the calcium level is decreasing and so on, right? So you are actually healing your body through lowering the CO2, which at the end higher your pH, as I mentioned already before. And pH is about healing. Yes, so it's not only about O2. Yeah, so if we increase the oxygen level, it's good on your daily base. Please, on your daily base. Breathwork is something different. Breathwork is a therapy. Is deep cleanse, deep kriya. So it's not just a regular daily thing. And also for those who feel like being addicted and breathing every day, be careful about that. It doesn't have to be every day. Unless you are a yogi and you are living in the mountains and you have to do that every day. But it's not for a daily routine. I would suggest to do it once in a week if you are a regular person. Otherwise, pranayama is the base, what you should do on a daily basis, especially something like Nadi Shodhana and Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati is a short kriya, and Nadi Shodhana would be balancing. Yeah.
It was pleasure speaking with you here, and
pleasure speaking
so this
to you
is a Kristi, a breathwork therapist, a facilitator, and this is Anand from Rishikesh Writings. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.